With the NFL schedule being dropped today at 5 p.m., there are a ton of schedule leaks dropping left and right. But this particular leak that impacts the San Francisco 49ers has me particularly excited and very happy about this current development. So, this is actually from 49ers Web Zone. David Vanilla was able to snag this from multiple various reports, but it does appear that the San Francisco 49ers have escaped playing football on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And one more time, NFL. Thank you. It feels like what, the last 2 years we've had Christmas Day games. We've had last year, we had a New Year's Eve day game and a Thanksgiving Day game. As someone who has young children, a family, these games freaking suck. I'm not gonna lie. Not the actual games like being played on the field. You can make the argument last year some on the field weren't that great. But for someone who has to balance, work and life at the same time, for me, covering the San Francisco 49ers is my job. So uh, it's an obligation, right? Like you're obligated to give 49ers coverage of an actual game that's going on, but I'm also absolutely obligated as a father to be there for my wife and my kids on these holidays. It always creates a challenging environment because it's a dual-edged sword. It's a lose-lose situation. For the most part, oh, win lose. Well, hopefully, if the 49ers win on those days, it's kind of more of a win lose situation. I think you get where I'm coming from here in this particular scenario. So for me, I am I am through the roof. Every time that those are some of the first games that I look at when the schedule comes out is like, are we playing on any holidays? Are we playing on Thanksgiving? Are we playing on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? It's always like, oh gosh, please no. In the last couple of years we have, and it has really, really sucked because you're not fully in both regards. Even though I want to be fully in doing my job, and I want to be fully in and present with my family. And it's just like it's a challenge, to say the least. So I am ecstatic about this information. Um, and so the teams that we do have playing, and this is how we know that the 49ers aren't playing on Christmas, is you have Chiefs versus Steelers and Ravens versus Texans for the Christmas Day slate. These are actually also going to be shown on Netflix. So this is the first time Netflix will be carrying any games, and so they'll get the Christmas Day games. And it also does appear that the 49ers are escaping the what appears to be the Thanksgiving holiday, as well as it looks like the Chicago Bears will be playing the Detroit Lions. The New York Giants will be facing off against the Dallas Cowboys, and the Miami Dolphins will be playing the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving. So, this is some of the best news of the schedule leaks that we've gotten so far. I'm so thankful that we don't have any holiday games. And I know, I think about like last year, it was the Ravens game, right? Was on Christmas, right? I think I'm remembering that correctly. Do I got my schedule right here in front of me? Was it Ravens? Yeah, Ravens was the Christmas Day game. What was Oh, and we had the Seattle game. Yeah, that's right. It's all coming back to me now. The Seattle Seahawk game was on Thanksgiving. That one actually wasn't too bad because I got to enjoy all day with the fam. We got to eat our turkey and all that good stuff, all the spread, and then we just kind of plopped down on the couch, and I just kind of worked while we watched with the whole fam. So the Thanksgiving one wasn't too bad, but that Ravens game, because it was like the biggest game of the year. It was the MVP race, two of the hottest teams, NFC, AFC, potential, like Super Bowl preview. And it was at the end of the day, so it was prime time. It's after most of the festivities had kind of come and gone, but it was just like one of those things where it's like I wanted to go to that game. And honestly, hindsight being what it is, I'm really happy that I wasn't there at that game because obviously we know the outcome. It wasn't good. That was actually one of the more unfortunate games by the San Francisco 49ers in the last couple of years. Just the way the whole thing played out. Obviously, and you know what happened, so I don't got to bring it back up. But then you also had the very next game was versus the Commanders on Christmas Eve, or not Christmas Eve, excuse me, New Year's Eve. So 3 holiday games essentially. It was made me sick. So I'm very, very happy that the San Francisco 49ers have escaped the holiday games. It makes me very, very pleased to know that I'll be able to, do my job to the fullest degree, and I'll also be able to spend all my time with my family on those particular days, and not have to stress my eyeballs out. So that's good news. Obviously, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I feel like I have a unique perspective because game days are work days for me. Uh, but obviously, I'm sure a lot of people also like take their families to the games on those days, so it's still a special day. But this is good news for me. I'm curious to know if you have similar thoughts, if you care. I'm curious to know if you actually prefer games being on holidays, making it a family of like a deal where you bring your fam to the stadium and things like that, kind of, or sit around the TV with the whole family, watch, the 49ers play. I mean, I think back to that was that 2017. I think it was like that Christmas Eve day game against the Jags. The timing wasn't great, but it was a pretty fun game to watch. And, watching the 49ers beat, one of the top teams in the AFC at the time, and what they were calling the hat and t-shirt game on Christmas Eve, well, it was a pretty nice present. But at that time, this wasn't my job. That I was doing 49ers content was purely a hobby in 2017. So it wasn't nearly to the level of what it is now. But I'm curious, how do you guys feel about that? Do you, yes, no, don't care? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.